I'm about to hurt some white women's feelings again.
Taylor Swift is obsessed with black women.
Hey guys, how are you all doing? It's a girl Cindy. Welcome back again to another video. I trust you guys are doing well today. Thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. So if you are on TikTok, I'm sure you must have seen on your FYP videos of people reacting to Taylor Swift's new album. Now, I want to start off by saying that, to be honest, I am not her fan. I really don't listen to her songs. But yeah, people are dragging her because of her new album. So it looks like Taylor Swift is obsessed with black women. Because what is this? I mean, have you listened to her song? Have you tried to look at the lyrics? I'm sorry guys, I do not have the full tea, but I saw the way people are dragging her, especially white women, because they are saying that she is obsessed with black women. Now, I have put these videos together again. I do not have the full tea. We are gonna get the full context from these videos that I have put together. And of course, I would love to know what you all think in the comment section. Now, the backlash she's receiving is too much. Like, Taylor Swift has responded to the backlash, which I'm gonna show you the video. Let's check these clips out.
Taylor Swift's new album is many things. Unfortunately, good is not one of them. I knew the album wasn't going to be good as soon as the title was revealed, but the promo pics made me curious, so I have listened to the album in full. And now, having listened to it, the album's problem is glaringly obvious. The problem is Taylor Swift is aging out of being a white girl. Before you scroll, let me cook. When Taylor was a teenager, she wanted to be a pop star, so her parents decided to take the country route. Keep in mind, this is the 2000s. Pop music was highly sexual, it was sleazy, and then you had things like bling rap. It's not a place for a little white girl. Country music, on the other hand, loves a little white girl, and she's blonde, they'll eat her up. So her family moved from Pennsylvania to Tennessee to launch her country career. That's why for the first several years of her career, she faked a southern accent. She was trying to fit in, seem authentic. Once the pop landscape started to change in the late 2000s and early 2010s, that's when she started to transition to making pop music. And now to talk about white girls. White girls don't have sex. They don't know what that is. White girls they're cute, they're adorable, they're like dolls, they're precious, they have to be protected. Do you remember a couple months ago whenever parents would bring their kids to Sabrina Carpenter shows and then act aghast because Sabrina Carpenter, who is a highly sexual artist, was referencing sex on stage? Of course they were, because how could a short, cute little white girl who is also blonde, a blonde, cute little white girl, how could she possibly know what sex is? It's the assumption. Women having sexual freedom and willingly engaging in sex is highly associated with blackness. You can see this most clearly when it comes to things like Disney and Nickelodeon stars. Miley Cyrus, she was Hannah Montana, all-American girl. And what does she do whenever she wanted to shed the Disney image and say, hey, I'm not just a little girl anymore? She releases Can't Be Tamed in bangers. Ariana Grande, another cute little white girl. What does she do whenever she wants to shed the childhood image? She releases Dangerous Woman in Sweetener. They would do things like hang out with rappers. They would incorporate black music styles into their own music. So that way, whenever they'd be sexual, it's like, oh, I'm not just a little white girl anymore. And over time, they would drift away from that because that wasn't who they authentically were. They were just using that as a way to escape the chains of being a white girl. Taylor Swift has never had to do that, and why would she? She makes being a white girl so fucking profitable. And the thing about Taylor Swift is that being a white girl is not just profitable for her, it's her entire brand. Because she's just so awkward. And whenever she dances on stage, she's bad because she's awkward. And she loves cats and baking and hanging out with her fans. And she would likely continue with this forever, except for one small problem. Taylor Swift is 35 years old. And it's not like she's showing signs of aging or anything, but the brand of being a white girl is very much being a white girl. What happens in a few years whenever she's 40? What happens whenever she starts to get wrinkles? Once you're middle-aged, it's not cute anymore to be awkward. So she's aging out of being a white girl, but she doesn't have a brand or really even a sense of self outside of being a white girl. Also, low-key, this is the entire key to her relationship with Travis Kelce, which is not going to go well, but that's a story for another day. And keep in mind, the world has been moving on. An artist like Sabrina Carpenter could not exist 10 years ago. There was nowhere in the pop landscape for her. For a cute little white girl who's that sexual. It didn't exist. And then on top of that, things have been rapidly changing politically. So people want different things from women now. And The Life of a Showgirl is a testament to Taylor's inability to rise to the occasion. Like on the song Wish List. Oh, everybody wants bright lights and designer things, and they want like a fat ass. But me, then we get to the chorus, but me, I just want to have all of your kids. I want to have all of your kids, and then I want to live in a house, and I want the driveway to have a basketball hoop in it for our kids. And Taylor's personal struggle between her being her own woman and her being a cute little white girl is really embodied by the song Wood. It's called Wood because it's in reference to Travis Kelce's, it's that. But the song isn't sexual at all, because the song isn't about sex. It's about a woman justifying the fact that she has sex. The song starts with her picking petals off of a daisy. Oh, he loves me not. Taylor portrays herself as being super insecure until Travis Kelce digmatizes her and opens up her eyes. And keep in mind, white girls cannot be sexual beings. It's not that she has sexual feelings, it's that a man came along and unlocked it in her. The curse was lifted. You see, you guys, it's not about sex at all. It's about love. His love was the key that opened my thighs. I don't have sexual feelings. I'm just a little white girl. Because this album is supposed to be her embodying her sexual energy, thus, Life of a Showgirl. But Taylor either feels unable or isn't willing or whatever it is you want it to be. Taylor doesn't actually embody it. She doesn't explore it because the embodiment of her sexual energy would come at the expense of the brand of Taylor Swift. It's seemingly not compatible, or at least she thinks or her team thinks that it's not compatible. So she has to be her own fully embodied grown woman in order to keep up with the times, but she also has to be like a cute little white girl in order to keep up with the brand of Taylor Swift. And in trying to do both, she successfully does nothing. I would be really curious to know if the album was even her idea, especially since so many of the songs sound like rejected tracks off of some of her old albums. Also, how are you gonna have an album called Life of a Showgirl and yet not a single fucking song on the album has a brass section? Showgirl music is big band, it's blaring horns, it's a hell of a lot of fun, and it just did not exist on this album. Not to mention, none of the songs actually have anything to do with being a showgirl, and really not even the song The Life of a Showgirl. Like, she could have just used the word follies once, and I would have been satisfied. But discussing why the music isn't good sonically is not really the purpose of this video. If you have any questions or you disagree with me, please let me know. I love thinking about white women, and Taylor Swift is just, she's the embodiment of it. She really is.
I'm about to hurt some white women's feelings again. One of the really important reasons why we cannot, as white women, co-opt rest as resistance or joy as resistance from black women is because white women, all of us, birth, nurture, and uphold white supremacy. And I'm not just talking about MAGA women or women in the Klan or women who used to own slaves. I'm also talking about liberal white women and leftist white women who, when they're told about their anti-blackness, absolutely crash the fuck out. Until our solidarity has some fucking teeth, until our solidarity has some consistency, until our solidarity means that we are actively giving up power, that we are being inconvenienced, that we are actually in the trenches with Black, Brown, and Indigenous people, our solidarity is shit. And until our solidarity is so consistent that we are in community with Black, Brown, and Indigenous people, where we can actually witness their community joy as resistance, we're not even gonna know what it fucking looks like.
Oh, Taylor Swift is getting canceled. This is a real life live cancellation before our eyes. I didn't even think I'd ever see the day. But the white women have had it. You hear me? I am just tickled reading through this thread. I said, it can't be that bad. It can't be that bad. Until Mary posted some evidence here. It is worse. Oh, Taylor, what is going on? Girl, this is horrible. It's like, well, I ain't never thought she was that great to begin with, so I'm probably biased. But when your fandom switches up on you as a collective like this, you might want to take it back to the drawing board. Because I ain't never seen a girl switch up on Beyonce as such. So this is definitely a problem. This is a big, big problem. In real life, I'm with Mary. Be so serious, because who's in the writing room with Taylor as she's making this hot garbage? This is horrible though. Like, did we even try? This is not, the girls are angry, and rightfully so. Like,
Seriously, you need to see videos from white women canceling Taylor Swift. And I was like, girl. Now, not only making videos, you need to see their comments in the comment section. Like, literally, I've been laughing all day reading comments from white women. Like, I was like, if your own are canceling you this way, baby, you need to check yourself.
Taylor Swift is obsessed with black women. Let's talk about it. Taylor Swift is obsessed with the fact that several of her exes have moved on to date black women, and she perceives this kind of conquering of Travis as an end or disruption of this pattern, and she's boasting about it in this album. Let's start with Opalite, which is very clearly about Kayla Nicole, Travis Kelce's ex-boyfriend, whom he dated off and on from 2017 to 2022, and oh, Kayla Nicole happens to be black. The lyrics in Opalite could actually not be clearly more like targeting Kayla Nicole, right? It references a video that went viral a couple times in which Travis is literally berating Kayla for being on her phone. Meanwhile, she is an influencer, so that is weirdo behavior because she was working and it's very controlling, but it is very clear nonetheless that that video is referenced in Opalite. The lyric reads, "You couldn't understand it, why you felt alone, you were in it for real, she was in her phone, and you were just a pose," right? Like, Taylor could not have been more obvious and like less creative here. It's not enough to me that like Taylor is using this like crazy like worldwide medium to best a woman that like previously dated her ex. It's also the fact that like Taylor is fully aware that Kayla has received like relentless and racist harassment, oftentimes terrifying, from Swifties in reaction to the fact that she previously dated Travis. So like this is like purposefully and like blatantly violent. This song accomplishes two things at once, right? It proves the fact that Taylor Swift is obsessed with black women, and it endangers Kayla Nicole. But obviously our country is not at its best with critical thinking, so let's like analyze a different part of the song, right? So another lyric says, "But I'm not a bad bitch, and this ain't savage, but I'm never gonna let you down." So in this song, Taylor positions herself as this like unique, singular white flower that is so different from what? Black culture. And once you step back and realize the song is like final boss pick me X racism, you realize that Taylor Swift is preoccupied with like this obsession with black women, in part because Travis Kelce has predominantly dated black women in the past, and she wants to define herself as different from his past and therefore better. Again, very weird, very pick-me behavior. Taylor's not only preoccupied with this idea that Travis has historically dated black women, it's also the reality that several of her exes have moved on from her to black women. And that confounds and ultimately like enrages her, and she's so obsessed with the pattern and the idea that she had to talk about it in this album. Chris, give me examples. Okay, well, we have Harry Styles, who is now reportedly dating Zoe Kravitz. We have Tom Hiddleston, who has moved on to be engaged to and co-parent with a black woman whose name is Zawe Ashton. And then we have Calvin Harris, who went on to marry a black woman named Vic Hope. So it is a pattern, and Taylor Swift is clearly aware of it because she is obsessed with her exes, and all of that together is making me feel very, very strange. And ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today I'd argue that this idea, the idea that white men have historically left Taylor Swift for black women, is part of her personal mythos, right? I imagine she finds it both confounding and devastating that these men have left her, who is like the pinnacle of Western white beauty, right? She is the ideal white woman. Meanwhile, all of these white guys are leaving her for black women, and I'm sure it's really pissing her off. So when Taylor like secured Travis, she achieved the ultimate feat in her mind. She had convinced a white man to leave black women for her, and the mythos is complete. She has disrupted the pattern, she is the queen bee yet again, and this album is all about her obsession with that weird mythos and her obsession with black women. At the end of the day, you know and I know that Taylor Swift is a deeply calculated and intentional person, right? She drew up these lyrics and this like 8th grade symbolism very intentionally. It's very red-pilled and incredibly macro-aggressive. So I guess the moral of my story here is like, you Swifties, the ones who refuse to call her out on her bullshit, are the same exact type of white feminist that she is. You protect bigots and you traffic in and like enjoy anti-black bullshit. And that that makes you a bad person. All right, bye.
This just in, the Swifties have now realized Taylor is mediocre. Finally, those delusional slaves are waking up. Taylor Swift dropped her album that no one asked for yesterday on October 3rd. Excuse me, B-word? That day is reserved for mean girls. But I guess that's fitting considering you tried to reheat Sabrina Carpenter's nachos in the most boring possible way you could. Showgirls are supposed to be sexy and sassy and exciting. The whole album gave off insecure, average palm-colored girl that can't sing or dance. Not to mention all of the songs sounding AI generated. She really rhymed fun, sun, and run. Wow, don't mess with her at the next poetry slam. An almost 35-year-old alleged lesbian that's about to get married to a man is still singing about prom. Grow up. The old saying is true. Celebrities are only as mature as the age they became famous. So it makes sense that she's still trying to market to children. She still is one. Be rid of that scam because your core fan base has evolved. Their frontal lobes are developing and they're realizing all of the BS you've been feeding them for years. The jig is up, cat lady. Do something different or retire from music. You certainly have the billions to do so. You're welcome. I love ya.
No, this gets worse. This gets worse. Like, because after reading this made me think about another lyric that she said of like, I'm not a bad bitch and I'm not a savage, but baby, I'll take care of you. And it was the most backhanded way of saying like, I'm not a black woman, but I'm white and I'll still take care of you. Like, by basically doing the white girl thing of complimenting to point out that there's a very difference between the two. I'm not going to say that she like it was supposed to be mean or whatever, but at the end of the day, the context of that lyric is to point out that she is not a black woman, she is a white woman. Why do you need to do that? Why do you also need to put a lyric in there that's going to lead to this woman, this innocent woman in a situation, to be harassed? And especially at that, she's a black woman. I gotta go.
So if you didn't know, this is what onyx looks like, and this is what opalite looks like. So which one is it? Is Taylor Swift this lyrical genius that has so many layers to all of the music that she writes, and she does it intentionally, or isn't she? So perhaps you can ignore it when she said she's not a bad bitch, and this isn't savage, and she's not a smooth operator. All of these things have racial tones. Smooth operator, very famous song by Sade. Bad bitch and savage. You know, these are words that black women use to like guess ourselves up. And she's saying she's none of these things. So perhaps you can just be like, oh, it's just a coincidence. But then when she talks about onyx and opalite, onyx is black, opalite is white. This is very intentional. And all because she perhaps feels insecure that her partner dated black women. Girl, you didn't even need to do that. But the most awkward thing about all of this is opalite is synthetic. It's fake. Did she just read herself? That is savage. Perhaps she is a bad bitch after all.
Hey, so if a black woman or a person of color is telling you that something is racist, something is microaggressive, something is not sitting with them the right way, that is not the time for you as a white person to open your mouth and say, actually, no. Yes, I'm talking about Taylor Swift. I'm talking about the critiques surrounding Taylor Swift. I know we're tired. I know it's been talked about ad nauseum, but I do think this is really important and it's something that we should continue to talk about. So one side of the criticisms about this album are related to stylistic choice, vocals, musical composition, right? People can have their opinions on that. What I want to talk about is the critiques of the lyrics and specifically the way people are critiquing the racist and microaggressive undertones that are within the lyrics. And a large majority of the people calling that out and noticing that are black women and people of color. And I am seeing white women like myself commenting back on a lot of those critiques saying, but she didn't mean it in this way. And you're reaching and you're looking too far into it. And it's not racist. Like, how could she be racist when in her music video she surrounded herself with people of color and she endorsed Kamala Harris for all of these people are making excuses like this for a person that they don't even know. It's so wild to me. When a black person or a person of color says that something is racist, That is not when we go, hey, actually, no. We have to sit with that and reflect and go, why didn't I think of it that way? How can I do better in the future? How can I call this out? How can I, et cetera, et cetera. There is work that has to be done. If your first instinct, when a Black person or a person of color says something is racist, if your first instinct is to say actually or but, there is work that needs to be done. It's so disheartening to me to see people defend this album and defend a billionaire with their whole fucking life when there are so many other people that energy could go towards, particularly people of color. Like, people of color are being unalived. They are being abducted in the streets. They are abroad and domestically are experiencing violence on insane levels. And so many people have not had the energy or the intensity in speaking about those things. But when it comes to Taylor Swift, they are fighting for their lives in the comment section. We should be fighting for our lives in the comment section when it comes to trans people, violence against Black people, immigrant rights, Palestine. These are things we should be fighting for our lives for in the comment section. These are things we should be going out and protesting, rather than like going and defending a white billionaire who you've never met. Anyway, this is the last show I'm going to say on Taylor Swift because she doesn't deserve my time, energy, the space on my phone anymore, because it just makes me so fucking grossed out the way people are invalidating Black women when they say something is racist. It's so like, white women, we need to have a chat like us and stop relying on Black women to do all of this work and hold all of this burden for us to then go back and invalidate them. We have work to do.
Taylor Swift has the fame and popularity that she has today mainly for two reasons. Number one, she's a mediocre white woman. And she reminds other mediocre white women in J-Lo that not only is mediocre okay, but it can get you very far. And I know what you're going to say, oh my God, but she's an amazing songwriter. Think about it, I'm going to hold your hand with a napkin in between when I say this. She's been writing about the same thing for 20 years. If I were writing about the same thing for 20 years, I should be pretty good at it too. I don't And not only has she been writing the same album, different font for 20 years, but nothing about her has improved. Her dancing is still the same as it was 20 years ago. Again, she's writing about the same thing. She literally has not improved in any way in her career. And why is that? Because she's a mediocre white woman, and y'all will praise her for being a mediocre white woman. She knows she doesn't have to do anything more. Whatever she does, whatever she puts out, y'all are going to buy it. Number two, and I know y'all are not ready for this one, but ready or not, here I come. Y'all still see her as a little girl who was bullied by the big scary Black man on the VMA stage in 2009. Now, friendly reminder, multiple things can be true at once. Kanye was dead the fuck wrong for doing that in that moment, and at the very same time, y'all have been infantilizing and coddling this woman since it happened. That's also why y'all feel the need to constantly compare Taylor Swift to Beyonce, because in that moment, Kanye was praising Beyonce over Taylor Swift, and so since that moment, y'all have felt the need to protect Taylor Swift and defend her virtue and prove why she deserved that award and other praises over Beyonce, and have never let Beyonce know a day of peace, even though number one, Beyonce was mortified in that moment and did not want Kanye to do that, and number two, when Beyonce was on the stage, she brought Taylor back on the stage to give her moment. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk, and if you disagree with me, I could not give a fuck less. Hope this helps. Peace and love. Talk to you later.
The worst part about this absolutely horrific Taylor Swift album is that all of the millennial MAGA women are going to absolutely eat it up and be like, oh my God, this is so real. She used just the perfect mix of vocabulary to where I almost understand it. Thank God she didn't fucking use any big words this time. Also, the song Canceled is just so me. Like, that's actually me and my entire family, because so many people have cut me off because I'm a racist. This is just so relatable. Like,
so Taylor Swift responds to backlash. I just thought to make this video because, again, it is blowing up on TikTok and people are still reacting to Taylor's music. Now, like I said, I don't listen to her song. I'm not a fan. So I want to know your take. I want to know what you all think in the comment. Obviously, you can see that she's obsessed with Black women and Black people in general. Correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. I'm happy to learn, but I'm just bringing these videos here so you guys can see, what people are saying about Taylor Swift and her album. But let's check her response out.
The rule of show business is if it's the first week of my album release and you are saying either my name or my album title, you're helping. And art, I have a lot of respect for people's subjective opinions on art. I'm not the art police. It's like everybody is allowed to feel exactly how they want. And what our goal is as entertainers is to be a mirror. Oftentimes an album is a really, really wild way to look at yourself, right? What you're going through in your life is going to affect whether you relate to the music that I'm putting out at any given moment. And what I often love seeing my fans say is, I used to be someone who didn't like relate to Reputation, and now that I've been through some other things in my life, that's my favorite album. Or I used to be a like fearless girly, now I'm obsessed with Evermore. Like, and we're doing this thing for keeps. Like, I have such an eye on legacy when I'm making my music. I know what I made. I know I adore it. And I know that, like, on the theme of what the showgirl is, all of this is part of it.
So I took some screenshots of comments randomly so you guys can see what other people said. You can please pause to read these comments if you want to. So Taylor says this is part of it. Everything that is happening, the backlash, everything is part of it. So it was really planned, and you all know that when they want to get some kind of attention, they bring black people into it, into whatever they are doing, because they know obviously there would be reactions. People are going to react. So this is a way to use black women to sell her music. But then it doesn't change the fact that they are obsessed. We know this, and it is crazy. Well, I thought to make this video just for you all to see what is happening on TikTok. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. But before I let you go, I want you to see this clip, from a sister. She kind of did a song and she said that this is what Taylor Swift wanted to sing. Just give me a few seconds or 1 minute. Have a look at this clip.
But I'm not a black bitch, and I'm not a savage, but I'm scared that you might cheat on me with the black hood bitch, and she's gonna have a fat ass, and I have a flat ass, and I don't have no titties, but your last ex, she had some perky titties, and I'm a insecure white girl with a flat chest, thinking that I want a man that used to date black women, and now I'm taking shots, cause he's all that I got.
Okay, please, I'm gonna tag her below in the comment or beside this video, I don't know. Please check her out on TikTok and you can listen to the full song. I just thought to drop this here. Again, let me know what you all think in the comment section, and thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe, for more videos, and of course, I'm gonna see you all in my next video. Much love. Bye.